So we'll get started.
Hi everyone, sorry that was just slightly delayed, only by 3 minutes though, we've done quite well really. Just a few technical issues getting people on board, but I think we're all here now. We've had a few more people register who aren't online, so people may well join us kind of throughout. This is also being recorded just for everybody to be aware of that. The reason we record it is because obviously it's not convenient for everybody to attend. So we have welcome questions prior to the event, but those questions we're going to answer at the end. And we're also going to record it and pop this on our virtual community board, which is on the Lane End website. So people will be able to see this recording because it's really, really useful for all members of the community, really, to be able to refer back to as well and to have all our contacts and to put some faces to names as well. So welcome to our community open morning for Wharton Road in Winsford. This is a new site for us with our client Jigsaw Homes, and there are a number of people here from both Lane End, which is ourselves, and Jigsaw Homes. So I will just introduce us all to start off with. So my name's Kate Harrison. Don't quite know why I'm reading that because I do know who I am. I'm the CEO of Lane End New Beginnings. I manage all the social value requirement across all of our sites. I set up New Beginnings personally over 5 years ago, and it's our way of giving back to the communities in which we build. Lauren, this is Lauren Banner.
Hi everyone.
Lauren will be dealing with our community initiatives within this area as well. So everything from local employment to local apprentices, working with local schools and education establishments, and also then working with community groups as well. And Lauren will be telling us a little bit about what she's got planned, a little bit about what she's already done in the area here later on in the presentation. Very last minute, we've got Andrew, our brand new site manager for Wharton Road as well. Andrew literally is very new, only this week on this job. On this particular job, but unfortunately Will, our construction manager who's been overseeing this site, is stuck on the M56 or 53 where there is some sort of 3-hour delay and counting, so he's stuck away. So Andrew has stepped in at the last minute, which is fantastic. Andrew will be based on Wharton Road, so it's really good for everybody to see Andrew and to be able to put a face to that name, because Andrew will be in charge of operations over there. Andrew's going to be giving us a brief site update, what's been going on and kind of what you can expect to be seeing over the next few months as well. And then from Jigsaw, who are the client, and just to explain for kind of the community, the client owns the site, so we are building on behalf of Jigsaw Homes. So once this site is finished, it will be managed by Jigsaw Homes, and they will be there, and these homes will belong to them. So from Jigsaw Homes, we've got Sue Cox, who's the head of neighbourhoods. Hello, Sue. Do you want to give us a wave?
Hi.
Hello. We've got Helen Taylor from Lettings, Tenancy Matters Management. Hello. And we've got Laura Gaskell, sales manager for Jigsaw Homes as well. Hi, nice to meet you. So that's brilliant. Sometimes on these meetings we just have purely Lane End people, and sometimes we have client as well. But to have client today and to have the representation from the client today is brilliant, and it's a real testament to Jigsaw Homes, that sort of partnership working, that we're working together to make sure that this scheme runs as smoothly as it can for the local area, and that we're definitely working in partnership for everybody in the community. So just a little bit of background on this particular site. So as I say, we're partnering up on this. This is, I think, the second project that we've done for Jigsaw, maybe even more. We have done one over in Preston, big one over in Preston, and this is a new one for Winsford for us. Lane End as a group have developed across Winsford, so we do have quite strong links with the community across Winsford. We've developed for Weaver Vale Housing, and we've also developed for Laura's Housing, and those sites are still live at the moment, one on New Road and one on Brilshaw Lane in the area. So we have done a lot of work within the communities, within the local schools already. So we're quite well established within the area, which is great for us, because we can kind of get more of a handle on what people want and making sure that everyone is happy with the way things are progressing. So the homes will be sold by Jigsaw Homes and are being built by ourselves, and that's often one of the things to really translate at the beginning, that sales inquiries go to Jigsaw, and anything that's kind of construction based on a day-to-day activity is definitely to be directed at Lane End, and we can help with that. So we're building 205 new homes on Wharton Road. So it's quite a lot of homes. It's quite a big site. And this is where the site is. It's this kind of Z. It does join up in the middle. It's just we couldn't work out how to put the red there. So it's this kind of Z-shaped site here on Wharton Road. And that's the area that we are developing at the moment. Just going to give you a little bit of a site plan so you can kind of see how things are laid out, and we will probably refer back to that because there have been a couple of questions on parking and pathways and green space and stuff. So you can see there's quite a bit of green space there and public green space, and we will refer back to this with any questions later, but I just wanted to make sure you got this. This information as well will be on our community board. So we don't just have a virtual community board on the Lane End website where all these recordings go and any updates. We also will have a physical community board as well. So that is positioned outside of site, and it'll give you lots of information about what's going on, what's being built, and also information on contact details of who you can contact on site should you need information on certain things. So that's the plan. Can we move to the next slide, please, Lauren? Yes. Thank you very much. So we're going to go straight in to start with just a very basic site update from our construction team, which is Andrew. We've got a few notes here. Like I say, this is quite a new site, so so far you won't see any houses going up on it. We've only just started. But Andrew, do you just want to tell us a little bit about what's been going on site and what people can expect to see in the next few weeks, please?
Yep. Hi. Okay. Thank you for that. Hi, everyone. So currently we have ground workers on site. They're connecting the main sewers and installing drainage. They are working in various areas of the site. So again, there will be a lot happening over the next 6 months in regards to that. Also, the roads are looking to put in some sections of roads. Foundations first phase for the homes also. Included in that will be some service sections. So again, all this will be happening within the next 6 months. I think next week they're going to start digging out for strip foundations. So yeah, that will in the first phase. So things are progressing very quickly in regards to phase 1. I think on that.
The show homes, I was unmuted. I was muted for a second. And the show homes are kind of the first things that are going to be that people will visually see being built.
Correct. That's correct, Kate. Yeah, the show homes will be the first ones going up. Yeah, so they will be in I forget what area they're in, but they'll be the first ones be taking place. So there's not a date penciled in yet, but I'm sure they're working on a program for that. So we should have a date within the next few weeks, I imagine.
Brilliant, thank you. I think it's always interesting when these sites set up and people go, well, what are you actually doing? Because we can't really see any progress, but there's so much work goes into the ground as soon as we start with these, and then all of a sudden these sites start shaking shape very quickly once all that work's kind of completed. So I think in terms of visually, it'll be a lot more exciting for people in a few months' time when things start going up. But like I say, the main aim is to get those show homes up, which is always a really big deal. I think it's great for people to be able to see exactly what these houses are going to be looking like, and certainly for the community then to come and visit and to understand a little bit more about the scheme. So I was just about to say that if anybody does have any questions, you can pop them in the chat function. If you want to pop them in the chat function, because everybody's muted at the moment, it just stops kind of toing and froing, and then we can deal with them at the end of the presentation, along with some of the questions that have already been submitted. That's brilliant. So thank you for that, Andrew. It's important to say as well that in the local area, if there are any works that are going to be affecting people, such as off-site works to do with roads, anything to do with kind of piling, things like that, that's always communicated. It's communicated through letter drops to the local area, to the vicinity of the site, which is very important. But also, it's really important to us to have that two-way communication between ourselves and the community. So if there are any issues, you can find the details, the contact details for Andrew, for Will, our construction manager, and for ourselves in the social value team on that community board as soon as it's up. You can also find them on the web page, which is on the laneend.org website. If you just click on Wharton Road, you'll find all the details there, along with site updates as well. So we keep that updated every quarter to make sure people know exactly what's going on site. It's just interesting. You know, we kind of approach this as if someone rocked up next to our house building a building site, what would we want? And it's all about being informed. And that's what we try to do here at Lane End.
Yeah, that's right. And you'll shortly have through your doors as well a postcard with a QR code on the back of it that'll take you to all of those links that Kate's just mentioned. So to our website, where you'll find all of the updates, copies of the letters for any disruptive works will be on there as well, along with details of our site team. They'll be on there, and you can have contact with them to discuss any matters that you feel are necessary. Obviously, as you can see, the site isn't really it hasn't got anything going on at the moment, but you'll soon see as well some hoarding going up and different things like that. So it'll start taking shape shortly, and you can keep up to date with that on our website.
Thank you very much, Lauren. And then I'm going to hand back straight over to you again for a community update as well. So do you want to give us a little bit of a
no problem.
A lowdown on that?
So as Kate mentioned before, we've worked in Winsford previously with other clients such as Weaver Housing Trust and Laura's Homes, and as part of that we do have a responsibility to make sure that we are making sure our site is not causing any disruption, as well as integrating ourselves within the community. So we've already done a number of initiatives in Winsford that you may or may not have seen, supporting the park, the works taking place there, supporting the Winsford calendar, different things on site, such as making sure that we've got local labour on site, making sure that we've got apprentices that are getting as much as they can out of the site, and a lot of work has also gone into supporting local schools and colleges, particularly Winsford Academy, raising aspirations for careers in construction, and the wider support that they need for careers going forward. And that is everything that will be transferred right over to Wharton Road, and we'll be working with Jigsaw Homes to do. We've already worked with Wharton Road Primary School, and they have a very exciting task where they will be naming 2 of our streets on the development. So they are just getting submitted to the council now before we can announce what they are. But it was their Year 6 students who were all very excited. They had the opportunity to think about the history of Winsford, what Winsford means to them, everything in between, and come up with 2 names for us. And the submissions were fantastic. So it's things like that that we'll be doing during the course of the development to make sure that everyone's involved in what's going on in their community. We'll be creating local job opportunities on site as well. So that's making sure that anybody that comes through our supply chain, subcontractors, as well as people that work directly on site, will be local to the site. That means that we are kind of giving back to the local area as much as we can. And we'll also be employing apprentices through our supply chain, just to make sure, again, that people are getting as much as they can from this site in terms of live learning opportunities. We'll also be looking to facilitate some work experience with the local schools and colleges, and we'll also be engaging with the Winsford Academy on their new project that they've got going on called the Humanitopia project. That's all about well-being within schools, and we'll be kind of helping to coach them through that, through our team. So that's upcoming for us in Winsford. So sorry, bear with me a second. We just have my notifications off.
Technical, you see,
Yeah.
Technical issues.
Let me just pop those on mute.
But I think it's key as well that obviously we've worked with lots of different charities, community groups over in Winsford already. But if anybody watching this has an organisation that they think, oh, you know, it'd be really useful to get you guys down to talk, whether it's construction or maybe you'd be able to help us with a few little projects that we've got going on within the community, then absolutely do get in touch. You can, our details will be on this, and you'll be absolutely seeing them on the website as well. You'll find them on the community board. I think what we like to do is we generally just ask the community for ideas, and then we can make sure that we're tailoring that for you guys, and also for our client as well. I know we've worked very closely within the Winsford area with our clients, with both Weaver Vale Housing Association and Laura's so far, and Jigsaw will be exactly the same. It's all about a partnership approach. So where we can help, we absolutely will help wherever we can.
Definitely, and we've already had conversations with Jigsaw to be able to facilitate that, and we'll be doing that in partnership together across Winsford. So anybody on this call that has got any suggestions where we can get involved in the community or ideas on anything that's going on in the area, then do please pass those through to us so that we can get involved as much as we can. It's just about integrating ourselves in the community whilst we're working there. So that open communication between yourselves would be ideal to know what's going on in the area, and you can keep up to date on what we're up to as well on our website, on our social pages as well. So I think that's pretty much everything from me in terms of community and what we'll be planning to do in the area and what we've already done. So I think it's time to pass you over to Jigsaw so that they can give you an update on the development side of things and the sales and how things are going to work in that respect.
Okay, thank you. I was introduced before. I'm Sue Cox, work in the neighbourhoods team. So I just wanted to give you a little introduction to Jigsaw Homes, who we are and what we do. So we're a registered landlord. We are a housing association. We've one of the largest housing associations in the north of England. We've got about 33,000 homes at the moment. One of our main strengths is we're very good at developing, and we've got an aim to develop 4,000 properties by 2026. And we do that utilising loans and grant funding from Homes England and from our own resources. So this is obviously one of those projects. At the moment, we've got a very long waiting list for properties. We've got over 4,000 people on our waiting list, and our properties stretch right from as far north as Morecambe to as far south as Nottingham. That's a little bit about Jigsaw. We're a large organisation. We've got about 14,000 employees, and we have a number of different sections within the company. The section that is very sort of relevant to this work is the neighbourhoods department. We've got Helen as well from the neighbourhoods team here. We deal with all tenancy matters. So anything from any antisocial behaviour, any lettings and any community work. So bear in mind that we will be on hand. So further forward, when we let these properties, there is a department that would deal with anything like that. We've also got our own building company that deals with all repairs and maintenance. And we've got asset management companies that deal with property refurbishments and repairs. And then on top of that, we've got all sort of tech teams like the development team. And we've also got Laura from the development team with us today on the call. So the breakdown of properties on this scheme, as was said, there's 205 properties being built. And the breakdown of that is that 38 of these will go for shared ownership, where people will buy a portion of the property itself and rent the rest. There will be 45 that are rent to buy, and there'll be 122 which are let through our affordable rent process. We work on a choice-based lettings process, and there's an application for this process for this. We've got Helen on the call, Helen Taylor, who is our lettings and tenancy matters manager. She may be able to answer any questions regarding the lettings process and how it all works. So we'll stay on the call for any questions, but thank you. Introduction to Jigsaw.
Oh,
Sorry.
talked again before I was unmuted.
Thank
Thank you very much for that. Does anyone else from Jigsaw want to add anything before we move on to the questions? Because I've got some questions already. I know, Lynette, you're struggling to get camera and microphone. What we will do is we do mute everybody while we're doing the presentation, but at the end we're going to have some questions. So if anybody's got any questions, you can type them. I know that you are typing now, it tells me on the thing. Any questions, you can absolutely type them within the chat function. I'm going to go ahead and start answering these questions that we've got.
Oh, Lauren, I think you've muted.
Oh, we're muted.
Oh, sorry.
I
don't know how much of that you got.
Sorry. She's muted me. She wishes she could do that in real life, to be perfectly honest. So I will go ahead now and start with the questions that we've been already submitted, and then And then again, I know Lynette, you've just popped something down there in the chat. If anyone else has any other questions, please put them in the chat and we'll deal with those right at the end. So the first question was, are there any homes for over 55s? And Jigsaw sales team have answered this one for me, so I'm just going to read out the response so I absolutely get it right. And it says here, the homes are being built on the shared ownership programme and have not been appraised on the older person's shared ownership scheme. There is no age limit for the shared ownership scheme, and so over 55s can still apply. The scheme will be on the new shared ownership model. Does anybody from Jigsaw want to expand on that, or are we okay with that?
Yeah, that's pretty much. Oh, go on, sorry, Helen.
Go on, Laura, you carry on.
No, that's fine. So for the shared ownership homes and the rent to buy, there isn't any older person shared ownership scheme, which is the one that's over 55s. But as I said, you know, anyone, shared ownership is open to all. It just obviously has different kind of, it doesn't have some of the ones that the older person shared ownership scheme offers to have.
Okay.
Sorry, Helen, did you pop in?
I was just going to add that it's the same for the rented units. There's none that are specifically designed for over 55s, but obviously, you know, they're open for everyone to bid on, either through West Cheshire Homes or through Rightmove in terms of the rent to buy properties. I was just going to follow on from what Sue said, just to explain about how the rented properties are going to be allocated, if that's helpful.
That would be.
So the affordable rent properties will all be allocated via the CBL, which is West Cheshire Homes. So anyone interested in those would need to register with them. We have recently become partners with West Cheshire Homes, so we've got access to the system. So we'll be placing our own adverts, running our own shortlists, and then obviously contacting the successful applicants to do interviews. The rent to buy properties, of which there's 45, are allocated slightly differently. So they won't be on the choice-based letting systems. We'll be advertising them on Rightmove and on our websites. They, as opposed to the affordable rents, which are allocated based on housing need, these ones are designed for people with the intention to buy the property. So it would be for people who are first-time buyers or people who are hoping to return to the market following a relationship breakdown.
Okay, interesting. Thank you very much for that. That's brilliant.
Follow on from that, the shared ownership homes are allocated different just to the rent to buy and the affordable rent. So we market them on the website, the Zoopla and other property searches, and they would apply to them via the Help to Buy Agent of the North. There's a form that they fill in.
Fantastic, thank you. And as I say, this is being recorded, so all that information is just so valuable because we get asked questions constantly about it. And I'm sure you will be getting more directly once some signage is up and that signposting's in place.
I know, Laura, you said to me on email that you've got, is it a brochure that you can send out to everybody after this, or a flyer or something like that about the development? Is that right?
Yeah, we have a guide to shared ownership. So we haven't, because it's early stages in the build, we don't have a brochure yet for the development. We're working on that at the moment and what the marketing name for the scheme is going to be. And I was wondering if we could work in partnership with you, Lauren, about what the names have been named, and we could maybe use that for actually marketing the scheme as a whole.
Yeah, definitely. We can catch up about that. That's no problem at all. Thanks, Laura. I'll share that shared ownership guide then with the attendees after the meeting and make people aware that it's available on your website, is it? Or do they need to contact you directly for that?
It is, all the information in the booklet is available on our website. So even though it's Jigsaw Homes Group, the sales arm is called Snug Homes. And everything will be marketed via Snug Homes. So we are part of Jigsaw Homes. It's just the branding we use to sell the homes.
I think we've also got a direct link to that on our
Yes.
virtual community page as well, so
Yeah.
that people can be well informed. That's great. And then
Thank
the next questions are more about Moor Lane End specific. So there's a question here about what will be the expected building time for this project, and that is around the 3-year mark. That's the time that's been allocated for this project. as a whole. Obviously, there are different phases to it, and the first things you will be seeing are the show homes. So bit by bit, obviously, we'll work our way round, but 3 years in total. What are the parking provisions on site? Well, for site, while we're doing these works, we're parking on site where possible. So we're trying to keep all traffic off the roads if we possibly can. So we'll have an allocated space within our, once we've got our site set up, an allocated space within there as well. We are very considerate, and we have full traffic management plans in place for all of our sites, which work around the local area to avoid congestion, to avoid peak times such as school drop-offs, pickups, anything like that, rush hour times. So deliveries do not happen within those times. If they do, then there's obviously been a miscommunication and an issue. But if you do have any issues with anything relating to site, then please do forward those over to ourselves. All our contact details can be found on the website. You can call us directly, and the site team will sort out anything that you need sorting out. On site, obviously, there are parking spaces for the houses that are being created, so there's adequate parking there for them once the development is actually up and ready to be moved into. Walking paths, there are pathways shown on this plan that you can see right now, along with another point that will there be any green space. Yeah, there'll be some small public open spaces, and these are shown on the plan as well. If you have a little look at the plan. Oh, Lauren's circling them for you. That's very fancy.
They're just here. Oh gosh, that's not a very good circle. They're just here, here, and here. So quite central to the site, small areas. But then obviously there is green spaces surrounding the homes as well. Just on that point about parking, you can also see that it's mapped out on this site plan that each house has a parking provision on there as well. So hopefully that's clear. You can see that there as well.
And then the final question on the building and the design was about the quality of the house insulation, which is something that we are always very we take massively into account with all of these houses. There's quite some strict supervision and stipulations in place already as we try and work to net zero, and obviously we try and help other people with their energy costs as well. So I'll just read this out again because I don't want to get it wrong. Insulation will be installed to ensure compliance with building regulations approved document L. That sounds fancy, doesn't it? We will look to procure insulation that is sustainable and accredited under the ISO 9001 quality management system. But basically what that does mean is that there will be a high level of insulation within these homes as part of the green agenda and as part of our own environmental work that Lane End are doing, and I'm sure Jigsaw as well, towards a more sustainable future. So yes, insulation and design of houses, things like the double glazing and the quality of that sort of stuff is all tested, and as the scheme develops, then we will probably be running a few more stories on that and the green agenda and how this scheme actually works into that as well. So those are all the questions that we've had from members of the community who couldn't attend today, and potentially some that could attend as well. I hope those have answered those for you. Lynette, thank you very much. I'll just introduce Lynette is from Weaver Vale Housing Trust, and Lynette has worked with us on the new road site in Winsford. So Lynette's been doing quite a lot of community work with us, and Lynette has suggested quite a few community projects there. We've just unmuted you, Lynette. Hello. You're not talking to me now.
Sorry, I had to unmute myself as well. Sorry, I didn't realise that. I'm really sorry. I'm expecting a call, so it's bound to happen now, isn't it? So apologies if I have to rush off. Yes, we've worked with Lane End now for about 2 years, and it's been absolutely brilliant. So yeah, so those are just a few suggestions that are things that are floating at the air at the moment, but I can certainly provide you with more if you need any. So what we do, we have a wish list. So when we have a new, which we continually update. So if you do need any ideas about social value, I can certainly share the wish list with you. But there's lots going on, and there's lots of needs. That particular estate across the road from where you're building is particularly in need, but there's not a lot in the way of anybody coordinating anything. So I'd have to have a think about that for you.
Thanks, Annette. That's brilliant. And I think that just kind of shows our partnership approach as well, that, you know, we like our clients to kind of cross-germinate, if you like, in terms of everyone working together. If we're all building in the same area, it's really important that we're all talking as well and communicating so that we get the maximum impact for the local community. And I know that on I nearly said another client name then, that Jigsaw are very much part of that as well. So we've got these suggestions now. Thank you very much, Lynette. Lynette does live in Winsford as well, which is great. It's really got a finger on the pulse there.
Definitely. Just to add, lovely Jigsaw people, we've got lots of services that we can offer to your customers once they've moved in, around employability and money advice, etc. It's all free to you, but we can certainly, when you're nearer to the point, have a chat about that as well.
That's brilliant. Thank you. And I think that that's great. And it's all about what we do. It's bringing people together for the greater good. And, you know, if everybody can be singing from the same hymn sheet, then that's absolutely brilliant. Thank you for that, Lynette. That's great. Lindsay, you have your hand up. Lauren, can you unmute Lindsay, please?
Yeah, of course, no problem.
Thank you. Hi, Lindsay. Have you got a question?
Hi. Let's see if I can get my camera. Can I put my camera on?
Yeah, I'll allow that now. Sorry, bear with me.
Okay.
I think you're on. Oh, you should be able to pop it on.
Yep. Okay, there we go. Something got louder. Got a few questions. I haven't been there in a while, but you know the area around that lane between the fence and the pavement?
Okay.
Which is on Nat Lane and Wharton Road, on the corner of it.
Not just, well, just, yeah, where you go onto Nat Lane on the Wharton Road side,
Yeah.
and walking towards McDonald's. I don't know if that's council responsibility or yours, but it's really overgrown and gets a lot of litter in it. So I don't know if that's possible to.
Yeah, so you mean kind of, I'll just mark it here. So you mean this area here, on this side? Okay.
Yeah, I can't see what you're doing for some reason on the image. I can
Okay,
only
no
see the
problem.
image,
I
but
think
it's the whole length of Nat Lane on the as you approach from Wharton Road and going down that lane.
Yeah, of course. No,
Yeah.
I know where. I think I know where you mean. So, we can certainly have a look at the litter problem. We do have the site team that kind of manage the perimeter, and we have got a site presence on there now. So I can make sure that we pass them a litter pick and get that sorted. We've also got connections with Winsford Wombles, so I can make them aware that that is a bit of a hotspot area for litter, and we can see if we can support them again on some litter picking.
Yeah, myself, I've picked about 7 bags from that verge in the of bottles.
Yes, I can imagine that's really frustrating. Yeah, I'll have a look at it. I'll have a chat to the site team as well, and just get them to have a bit of a sweep round, and then I will get in touch with Winsford Wombles as well and see how we can support them again. We've done that previously, so I'll get in touch with them.
It is because it's overgrown. If it was grass, you know, people wouldn't throw nearly as much. So.
Yeah, if we're able to get access to land, if it is our land, then we'd trim it anyway. But if it's not, then
then I can bring that to the council and say, oh, you know, maybe they've forgotten because you've got the rest of the land. I have no idea. So it'd be good to.
We can check that. We can definitely check that, Lindsay. No problem.
Thank you. My other question was about the room numbers. You know, is there houses for single people, or is it more 3-bedroom housing?
Laura, can we pass that question to Jigsaw, if that's okay, please?
Shall I take this one? Because there are 1-bedroom properties, but they're all rented.
Okay.
They're the affordable rent ones. So there's 60 1-bedroom flats, and there is 18 2-bedroom flats as well. In addition to 2-bed houses, 3-bed houses, and 4-bed houses, but all the 1-bedroom flats would be allocated via West Cheshire Homes.
Yeah. Was that 18 2-bedroom?
Yeah, 18 2-bedroom flats.
Yeah, and I just wanted to bring up Willowwood because I'm a governor there, so just just wanted to mention them because they love being involved.
That's on the list, isn't it, Willowwood?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, we could go and contact them, and we're looking to do an environmental project with some primary schools. So definitely get in touch with Willowwood and see what we can do there for them. That's great. Thanks, Lindsay.
They're very keen. Great, that would be great. And just on the Jigsaw side, once the houses are built, last question: do you have people who go around and check the houses on a yearly basis? Because I know I've just come in contact recently with people who struggle to report things on their own, and even things like mold, quite serious things. So just wondering about, you know, yearly checks on houses, that kind of thing, for people who struggle to report.
Yeah, we do annual inspections on the properties, and then in addition to that, we have officers that have patches, so there'll be an officer who is responsible for this patch who's already covering other properties in Winsford. So he doesn't do routine visits, but obviously he will be in the area quite regularly, particularly obviously because it is a build over quite a large period of time. He will obviously have quite a presence there. And then our gas engineers do a maintenance inspection every year when they're doing the gas servicing.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any other questions at all? I've exhausted all the questions that we have here.
I'll just check the chat.
We're just going to check the chat, and we don't think there are any in the chat, just the next suggestions for community, which is great. So that brings our event to a close today. So we've had a little site update, a community update, an update from Jigsaw, and then we've answered all the questions that were submitted and a couple more on the event today, which is brilliant. Thank you for attending. We aim to do these quarterly.
Yes, quarterly, yeah.
But within that time as well, there is always communication there. So what I would do is urge you to keep checking on the community page on the website. As Lauren commented before, you will people who are in the community within the vicinity of the site will be getting postcards with Lane End and Jigsaw's branding on them through their front doors over the next couple of weeks, and those will have a QR code that you can just scan. It'll take you straight through to the virtual community board, so we can really keep you up to date on everything. But as I say again, if there are any big announcements, whether it's a road closure or traffic lights or anything off site that may affect you, we do let you know that through a letter as well, which is really important. What I would say, if in the meantime you do have any questions, if you have any queries, then you can pop to site and speak to the site manager. You can get the emails and the phone numbers off the community board as soon as that's up. We're just dealing with site setup at the moment, so once all our cabins and things are in there, then it's going to be a lot easier to be able to facilitate on-site meetings, and then potentially later in the year we'll be able to have one of these meetings on site as well, which is very exciting when the show homes are open, because I can go and get lots of inspiration for my own house there, which is just great. So thanks again for attending, and like I say, this will be posted on the virtual community board, so everyone will be able to see it again. If you want to refer back to it for information, that's absolutely fine, and look forward to seeing you all again in a few months' time.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thanks everyone. Take care. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.